Now, please recognize the General Lady from Puerto Rico, Congresswoman González-Colón, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm so happy to be here, and I wish you a fast recovery. You're a true friend of the island. I want to say thank you for visiting our farmers and our people on the island during this semester, discussing actually the Farm Bill. It was a great opportunity for all the local stakeholders to have you there. I thank you, and I thank Mr. Davis for having this opportunity to testify today. As you know, Puerto Rico is not included in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Instead, the island offers federal nutrition assistance to low-income families through the Nutrition Assistance Program, or NAP, which is a capped block grant program funded every year by Congress. With NAP, U.S. citizens living in Puerto Rico receive fewer benefits compared to their SNAP counterparts. We also depend on Congress to allocate additional emergency funds through supplemental legislation in the event of a natural disaster or national emergencies. And this challenges the response on the ground and produces uncertainty as state agencies, officials, and island residents are unaware of what, if any, disaster resources will be available when needed. SNAP, on the other hand, will ensure residents in Puerto Rico, like those living in the 50 states, Washington, D.C., the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Guam, are properly supported when in need of assistance to cover their dietary expenses. SNAP also has built-in tools to bolster the economy, like work requirements. Some estimates show that if Puerto Rico were included in SNAP and therefore in compliance with work requirements, approximately 250,000 residents will be brought into the workforce. There is ample support from both the public and private sectors on the island for the transition from NAP to SNAP. It is a bipartisan issue. And there is potential impact of this change on agricultural communities across the country. Puerto Rico imports close to 80% of the food it consumes, and most of those items come from the states. Some of the imports categories include poultry, meat, dairy, cereals, among others, with the mainland being the #1 supplier and seller. I introduced legislation that will help us achieve participation in SNAP, H.R. 253, the Puerto Rico Nutrition Assistance Fairness Act, and this bill, which is bipartisan, bicameral, and supported by all stakeholders on the island, supports the transition and gives us a time frame for both Puerto Rico and the U.S. Department of Agriculture to undertake this change in full compliance with programmatic requirements under SNAP. Puerto Rico has been excluded from NAP since the 1980s, and NAP is one of the main programs the island residents turn to when there is an economic downturn or emergency impacting their work hours and their livelihood, and yet they are shortchanged compared to the SNAP counterparts. That's the reason I urge this committee to take the opportunity on the Farm Bill to address this issue and support a real nutrition assistance and security for Puerto Rico. Lastly, I would like to highlight some other priorities that will foster greater research opportunities for some of our specialty crops, which are bananas, plantains, cacao, and mangoes. These are staple items in our diet and our agriculture economy. I have introduced legislation that will add these crops as priority research areas for the Department of Agriculture. There are H.R. 1455, the Plantain and Banana Plant Health Initiative Act, the H.R. 154, the Cacao Tree Health Initiative Act, the H.R. 3856, the Mango Plant Health Initiative Act. Including these bills within the upcoming Farm Bill, will have a remarkably positive impact on our abilities to conduct research of these crops, mainly the pest and plant diseases that threaten them and how to mitigate this. And I would like to conclude by my remarks by thanking you, Chairman Thompson, for your time, as well as your dedicated staff who has been working alongside my staff for many years on all these issues, as well as Mr. McGovern. I want to say thank you, and I yield back.
Congresswoman, thank you so much. Thanks for being a great voice for your constituents in Puerto Rico.